Good morning. Welcome back to another edition of Kung Fu and Coffee. Let me give you a brief history of how these videos got started. My wife and I, avid coffee drinkers, every morning we get together, have our coffee, we get to discuss things. And both of us being martial artists, the conversations generally turn to something Kung Fu. And one day she said, hey, you should film these and just talk to your Kung Fu brothers and different people out there about Kung Fu. Well, it's grown, and I'm so honored that you guys have helped us grow this video series and share it with others. One thing that we talk about is people have said, hey, you don't ever talk much about about coffee. That's why I've got this cup here this morning. Let me tell you what we do. Everywhere my wife and I travel, we always love drinking the local coffees wherever we are. This morning, we brought back some coffee from Seattle, and I'm having a little bit of a Seattle blend. However, check this out. My wife, being from Louisiana, many of you have been to Cafe Du Monde there in New Orleans. Fantastic place. We've been there. We had a friend send us this as well. Of course, it's coffee and chicory. Dark stuff. Those of you that have ever been to Louisiana know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then you need to check it out. I took my Seattle blend. It was a dark roast. Took the chicory coffee. We blended it all up, and that's what we're drinking this morning. It's fantastic. Of course, I use this cup because any coffee cup that I have has to double as a weapon. That's one of my requirements for coffee cups. And that's the whole aspect of the coffee. Now, let's get to the Kung Fu. Last week, we talked about beginning the new series, Sa Bat Sau. Wong Long, who invented the Mantis system, had 17 other Kung Fu brothers. They were all different styles, and they combined it to make this one form. Last week, I caught myself after the film was over. I talked about a form of Choi Li Foot being a part of the 18 Elders. It's not. I was talking to a martial arts friend of mine and had that on my mind. Just didn't catch it until later on. But it's not part of it. Now, let me do a little bit of clarifying just so you understand what we're doing. Anything inside my arm is considered what I call inside gate. Anything to the outside of my opponent or outside of my arm is what I call outside gate. Sifu Fog has always used that terminology with us. So we talk about inside gate, outside gate. Let's look at the form Sa Bat Sau. Last week we talked about these two moves, here and then the strike right there. Today I want to talk about that next move, this move here. Now I'm going forward, I'm going to turn sideways in a moment to demonstrate. A lot of folks have said, well, is this an elbow? Is it a break? There's thoughts out there, is it a throw? What is it? I say yes, it's all of them, depending on the scenario, depending on what happens. Let's talk about the elbow first, being just a straight up elbow strike. You're in a fighting stance, the guy may be swinging a right hand. I could step in, of course, block it, and just come around and hit them with the elbow. The jaw, if they're my height, if they're a little taller, ribs or whatever. You could also, as a Mantis guy, maybe an inside and catch it as I catch, coming around with the elbow. The hands here, just to help you have a target, toughen up the hand, whatnot. Right in here, going around, hitting with the elbow. You could also use the elbow as a break. If they threw their right hand, I could catch it, come around, hit their elbow here, break it like that with mine. That's the elbow hit. Let's talk now about a throw or a trap. This is what they're going to look like right here. It's a twist up. A lot of my friends out there know jiu-jitsu or different martial artists, and you'll understand some of the traps perhaps that your system may do. Mantis is all about traps and grabs and controlling the opponent, just like the insect. Once he gets a hold of that other bug, he doesn't let it go, of course, till he eats it. This movement, let's talk about not making necessarily an elbow strike, but a throw and a trap. Now, let's go outside gate. He's throwing his right hand. I'm catching it, okay? I could catch it outside of him, hit him with the left hand, strike that in that direction. Of course, you have the knee. You could pull him up and hit him with the knee that we talked about in the previous video. What happens if he blocks this hand? If he blocks it, I can now grab it. Now remember, I'm not going to do the elbow. I'm going to actually turn the hands, just like turning a steering wheel. So now it's turning into a trap and a throw. I'll do a little different angle. Okay, it's teaching me. The form puts these movements in your body so that they become natural. So instead of some of the forms, you have this type of motion, hung choi, hitting, but it can be a trap. But in this particular form, it's here. But what I can do is just abandon that, turn the opponent like this. Notice my leg. It's going to step on the inside of him, okay? I'm twisting him up like this. It's going to do a lot of damage. Skeletal damage due to the shoulders, the neck, muscular damage, tendons, ligaments. It's going to do a lot of damage because you've got them like this. You're twisting them over, not to mention the fall, because my leg is an obstruction. They're going to fall over the leg. So you can look at this as an elbow strike. You can do that all day long. I love those. You can also, what I call more in-depth discussion, is turning it into that throw. They're going to topple over. Now, if the guy does a cartwheel and lands in the splits, it means he's a ninja and I'm out of there. But it's very difficult to get out of that situation. Put it together. And if you notice, everything is connected. He's throwing a strike. I'm hooking it. I'm going to this. He blocks that. I hook that. Boom. He blocks that. I hook that. So I'm constantly sticking, which is one of our principles. We're sticking to our opponent, not letting go once we get them, exactly like the bug, using the legs. One more time, just so you can see it. Right there. So I just wanted you to open your mind and just kind of take a look. Of course, it's an elbow, but it can also be a throw. So you're doing a lot of damage to them. Thank you all so much for helping us grow this video. I'm completely honored about this. And as I mentioned earlier, if you have any coffee, any places you enjoy going and the coffee just blew your mind, it was awesome, let me know. Heck, send me some just to try it. I always love letting people know about special coffees, where we go, what you do, the special blends, and of course, we love discussing Kung Fu with it as well. Until next time, guys, thank you so much.